Today, we're going to talk about startup content marketing. Siege is lucky to be working with a ton of great startups over time, including some from Techstars, Y Combinator, and more. And we followed them from Series A to IPO and lucky to follow along and make an impact from an SEO and content marketing standpoint along that journey. So today, we're going to be breaking down the ins and outs of that process to make sure you're successful from the seed stage to the point where you finally go public. And the first kind of transition to that is the thought process that very often SEO and content marketing as it ties to SEO doesn't make sense for you until Series A. And the reason for that, and this is evolving as seed rounds get larger in size, but the traditional smaller seed round, you haven't found product market fit yet. And because of that, your messaging might not be ideal or really nailed down. And because of that, some keyword research you do will often end up being completely off or wrong. So that could be risky and a poor investment of money to go down that route and then be completely incorrect. Additionally, it takes time to see results with SEO, and you often don't have the money in the bank to survive until that Series A unless you really figure things out first and get more momentum through other channels. So we very often suggest investing money at Series A because you now have a lot of equity already. You've established product market fit. People are probably already naturally talking about you. That initial link equity can then be parlayed into quicker results. So a very common example we would give is in the seed stage example. If you invested all in very soon there, it could take you 12 to 18 months. But if you invest in the Series A stage, it might be as short as 6 to 8 months to see results from search. So that's a major difference when you only have a certain amount of runway. And at the seed stage, you very often have the least amount that you will have in the existence of your company. So it doesn't make sense to invest at that time. To kind of like balance those goals, so say you still want to do it, one of the reasons to still do it is if you just know SEO is going to be the primary channel for you. Some people think of it as a secondary channel. Other channels are going to be more important. If you just know SEO is going to be everything, you can invest earlier and that can be rationalized, but you should have a plan to still get investment and make it to the next step should that not be the case. A way to get there and still see some value is our process called the keyword opposition and benefit analysis. And what this does is actually combines keyword difficulty and actual opportunity to give you content topics that have real value and can put money in your bank as you wait for that difficulty to be realized. Or rather, it'll allow you to rank for things faster because the lower difficulty terms while also being valuable. So you effectively prioritize a list of, say, 100 topics. This will give you a roadmap to put topics up front that you know you can rank for faster. And then this will ladder up to hopefully subsequent funding rounds, allow you to see more success, and because of that, see more rankings and further growth into your future. The one caveat I would say about the keyword opposition and benefit analysis that's also a pro is that it does use traffic value. So traffic value will look at what people are bidding on that same traffic to make an estimation of what it's worth. As a startup, the kind of by nature definition of that is very often that you're forging new ground and finding new product market fit that doesn't exist currently. And if that's the case, you can't truly compare yourself to alternatives because you're doing things differently. For that reason, those traffic value numbers should be adjusted. They're simply estimates of what it could be worth. But say you're in a market where there's a lot of e-commerce products and then you build an app in that same vertical, you're not selling those e-commerce products. So you can't say that content is going to be worth $20,000 a month for you. So you'd want to adjust that. Generally, traffic is going to be a good barometer, but that's just yet another reason why there's risk of starting early with search and content marketing, especially as it comes to search side of things. So something to consider overall. So if I haven't talked you off doing SEO and content marketing too early as of yet, maybe you are Series A, some kind of general next steps to consider that I see people make mistakes on is to make sure you pick a user-friendly CMS or content management system. Many people will use these CMSs and find the new hot thing of the day and then end up regretting that and turning back to something like WordPress. We see a lot of them over the times, and definitely there's unique benefits on the product use cases you have, but if you're investing strongly in kind of user-friendly content that's not super hyper complex, Generally, a user-friendly CMS such as WordPress, we also see Contentful and Webflow recommended very often. We think highly of all of those. Those are good options for you, and you just don't want to make that mistake and then have to realize that it's impairing your growth. Because even if you can work with that very unique build as a developer, that doesn't mean the average writer will be able to. So you have to think in terms of who will be using it, not yourself, because not everyone is going to be a technical co-founder, which tends to be more often the case in most startup environments. As some general recommendations, even if you're not doing search yet and you know you will eventually, you can still be thoughtful about content marketing and search down the line. So some things to do there is when you do funding rounds, look for competitors who were covered, use Ahrefs, look at your list and see who got covered in different publications and search for funding specifically. And you could reach out to those same publications for coverage, and you'll also get links from those coverage and publications, good PR, good links that will set up SEO in the future. And furthermore, just keep doing that over time. You can also reach out to top startups in blank lists. So it could be Austin, San Diego, your city of choice. And very often, if you're a new upcoming startup, you can reach out to those publications, get links, mentions. Not always will it be a qualified audience for you, but it's just another way to get some link equity that will build towards that future SEO success down the line. So that pretty much sums it up. There's definitely a lot more detail into how to do effective startup content marketing. Those are the specifics. We highly suggest checking out our post on keyword opposition and benefit analysis. Also, our post on how to increase website traffic by 250,000 plus. If you know that you're still ready to get moving here, those are good next steps to think about content marketing and make sure you're taking things forward and also getting results as fast as you can in that startup environment that is so volatile. So congrats on the launch of your startup and taking the step. If you like this video and want to see more startup advice for content and SEO just like this, hit subscribe, jam that notification bell, and let us know what you thought in the comments. Appreciate you watching.